Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter. And what if I told you that the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion. And today we're diving into a Lincoln penny from 1996 that could be worth an absolutely mind-blowing $12 million. Yes, you heard that right. $12 million for a penny that might be sitting in your change jar right now, hiding among all those ordinary coins you barely even glance at. This is not just money. This is a ticket to unimaginable wealth. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, but hold on tight, because after we uncover the secrets of this 1996 treasure, we've got two more Lincoln pennies coming up that will absolutely blow your mind. One worth even more than this one, and another that's going to make your jaw drop to the floor. Trust me, you want to stick around because what's coming next is going to change the way you look at pennies forever. Now, let's talk about this 1996 Lincoln penny and why collectors are going absolutely crazy over it. The year 1996 was a fascinating time in American coinage. The United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents across multiple facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and everything seemed routine, normal, just another year of cranking out pocket change for everyday Americans. But here's where it gets interesting. Deep within the machinery and the massive production runs, something extraordinary happened, something that would create one of the most sought-after error coins in modern numismatic history. The 1996 Lincoln penny we're talking about isn't just any ordinary cent that rolled off the assembly line. This is a penny that possesses a rare and spectacular minting error that makes it worth exponentially more than its face value. We're talking about errors that could include a dramatic double-die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions are doubled in such a pronounced way that even a casual observer can spot the difference, or perhaps a wrong planchet error where the penny was accidentally struck on a dime or quarter planchet, creating a coin that's the wrong size, wrong weight, and absolutely wrong in all the right ways that collectors dream about. Some of these 1996 pennies feature striking errors where the die cracked during production, creating dramatic raised lines across Lincoln's face or through the memorial on the reverse. These are called die cracks, and when they're significant enough, they can transform an ordinary penny into a five-figure, six-figure, or in this case, a multi-million-dollar treasure. The Lincoln cent itself has been a staple of American coinage since 1909, when it was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first regular-issue United States coin to feature the portrait of an actual person. The obverse has remained largely unchanged, featuring Victor David Brenner's iconic profile of Lincoln with the words, "In God We Trust," arching above, and "Liberty" to the left, with the date positioned to the right of the portrait. The reverse of the penny has seen some changes over the decades. From 1959 to 2008, it featured the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo, showing the memorial building with tiny columns that, if you look closely enough with magnification, actually reveal a minuscule statue of Lincoln sitting between the columns. This attention to detail makes the Lincoln cent one of the most beloved and collected coins in American history. And when you add a significant error to this already historic design, you create something that collectors will pay astronomical prices to own. Now, what makes this particular 1996 penny worth $12 million? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and the severity of the error. Imagine a 1996 penny that was struck with a massive die error, perhaps a combination of multiple errors occurring simultaneously, creating what numismatists call a perfect storm coin. Maybe it features both a double die and a wrong planchet error, or perhaps it was struck off-center so dramatically that portions of the design are missing while other parts show a second partial strike, creating a spectacular visual that immediately catches the eye. The grading of such a coin is absolutely critical. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being absolutely perfect. And when you're talking about multi-million-dollar pennies, you're looking at specimens that grade MS 68 or higher, coins that have been preserved in such immaculate condition that they look like they just left the mint yesterday, with full original luster, sharp details, and absolutely no signs of wear, marks, or environmental damage. Authentication is equally important. Coins at this value level must be certified by either PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, the two most respected third-party grading companies in the world, and their certification provides buyers with confidence that the coin is genuine, correctly attributed, and accurately graded. The auction history of rare 1996 pennies shows a steady climb in values over the years. What might have sold for a few $1,000s in the early 2000s could now command prices in the hundreds of thousands or even millions, depending on the specific error and the condition. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln cent errors are particularly passionate. They'll travel across the country to attend major auctions. They'll network with dealers and other collectors, and they'll pay premium prices for coins that represent the pinnacle of their collecting goals. The story of discovering one of these valuable 1996 pennies is like something out of a movie. Imagine someone inheriting a coin collection from a relative, casually looking through rolls of pennies, and suddenly spotting something that doesn't look quite right, something that makes him stop and look closer. That moment of realization, when you understand that you're holding something incredibly valuable, is what drives people to search through their change, to buy rolls of pennies from banks, and to never look at pocket change the same way again. The 1996 penny worth $12 million represents the ultimate find, the coin that every searcher dreams about. And while it's exceptionally rare, perhaps only one or two examples exist. The possibility that it could be out there, circulating in someone's change jar, makes the hunt absolutely thrilling. Think about it. This coin could be sitting in an old piggy bank in your childhood home. It could be in a jar of pennies at your parents' house, or it could be in a coin collection that was put together decades ago and hasn't been examined by an expert. The accessibility of Lincoln pennies makes them the perfect collectible for both beginners and advanced numismatists. Everyone has pennies, everyone can start searching, and everyone has a chance, no matter how small, of finding something extraordinary. But here's where it gets even more exciting. The coins we're about to discuss next are going to take this to a whole new level. If you thought 12 million was incredible, just wait until you hear what's coming, because we've got a Lincoln penny from another year that's worth more than double this amount. And trust me, the story behind it is going to leave you absolutely speechless. And that's not even the final coin. We've saved the absolute best for last, a penny that's worth so much money it's hard to even comprehend. You absolutely cannot miss what's coming next. So whatever you do, don't click away, because these next two pennies are going to prove that sometimes the smallest, most ordinary-looking objects can hide the most extraordinary value. The world of error coins is filled with surprises, with moments of discovery that change lives forever. And right now, you're getting the inside knowledge that could help you become the next person to find a fortune hiding in plain sight. So stay with us, keep watching, and get ready to have your mind blown by what's coming next. Next, Lincoln Penny 1982 worth $25 million. It looks like any other penny, but appearances are deceiving, and this Lincoln Penny from 1982 is hiding a secret so valuable that collectors have paid up to $25 million to own one. Let that sink in for just a moment. $25 million for a coin that you could literally find in your pocket change today, a coin that millions of Americans have handled without having any idea of its potential worth. The 1982 Lincoln Penny holds a special place in numismatic history because it represents a major transitional year in American coinage. This was the year when the United States Mint changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a zinc core with copper plating, a decision made because the rising price of copper meant that the metal in older pennies was becoming worth more than their face value. This change created an unprecedented situation where two different types of pennies were produced in the same year. The old copper composition weighing 3.11 grams and the new zinc composition weighing only 2.5 grams. And this variation alone has made 1982 pennies fascinating to collectors. But we're not just talking about the compositional difference here. We're talking about error coin from 1982 that are so rare, so spectacular, and so highly sought after that they've reached stratospheric values at auction. Imagine a 1982 penny that was struck on the wrong planchet entirely. Perhaps a penny die striking a dime planchet, creating a tiny, underweight cent that's dramatically smaller than normal, or even more incredibly, a penny struck on a quarter planchet, creating an oversized, overweight penny that immediately stands out as something extraordinary. These wrong planchet errors are among the most dramatic and valuable errors in all of numismatics because they represent a confluence of mistakes that should never happen. The wrong planchet has to make it pass quality control. It has to be fed into the press, and it has to be struck and released into circulation, with each step being an opportunity for someone to catch the mistake, making the ones that slip through incredibly rare. The 1982 also saw its share of dramatic double die errors. Imagine Lincoln's portrait doubled so strongly that you can see two distinct outlines of his profile, or the date, 1982, showing such pronounced doubling that it looks three-dimensional. The inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" on certain 1982 pennies show doubling that's visible to the naked eye, making these coins instantly recognizable even without magnification. And when you combine a major double die with pristine, high-grade condition, you create a coin that auction houses fight to list and collectors compete fiercely to acquire. The reverse of the 1982 penny, still featuring the Lincoln Memorial design, has its own set of potential errors. Look for doubling in the columns of the memorial in the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, or in the denomination 1 cent. And when these reverse doubles occur in combination with obverse errors, you're looking at what collectors call a double die obverse and reverse, an incredibly rare situation that commands massive premiums. But the errors don't stop there. 1982 pennies can feature off-center strikes, where the die doesn't align properly with the planchet, creating coins that show only a partial design, with blank areas where the die missed the planchet entirely. And the more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, with strikes that are 50% off-center or more being particularly desirable. Then there are the broad strike errors, where the collar die that normally constrains the metal during striking is missing or malfunctions, allowing the metal to spread beyond its normal diameter, creating a penny that's larger and thinner than normal. These broad strikes are visually stunning and highly collectible. Die breaks and die cracks in 1982 pennies can create spectacular raised lines, blobs of extra metal called cuds when a piece of the die breaks off, and other dramatic visual anomalies that transform an ordinary penny into something remarkable. The story of how these errors occur is fascinating. Modern minting is highly automated with sophisticated quality control, yet errors still happen because of the sheer volume of coins produced, the stress placed on dies that strike millions of coins before being retired, and the occasional mechanical malfunction that allows imperfect coins to escape. Each major mint facility, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, produced pennies in 1982, and errors can come from any of these facilities, with some collectors even specializing in errors from specific mints. The mint mark, a tiny letter found below the date, D for Denver, no mark for Philadelphia, and S for San Francisco, can actually affect value, with certain mint errors being rarer from specific facilities. When we talk about a 1982 penny worth $25 million, we're discussing the absolute pinnacle of error coinage, perhaps a unique specimen that combines multiple errors in one coin, creating something that exists nowhere else in the world, a true one-of-kind numismatic treasure. The condition of such a coin would have to be flawless. We're talking about a coin that grades MS 69 or MS 70, essentially perfect or near perfect, with blazing luster that makes the coin look almost three-dimensional under proper lighting, with strike details so sharp that every line of Lincoln's portrait is fully rendered, and with surfaces so clean that even under 5x magnification, you struggle to find any imperfections whatsoever. The provenance of such a coin matters too. If it can be traced to a famous collection, or if it has an interesting discovery story that adds to its appeal and value, and auction houses will prominently feature this information in their catalogs and marketing materials. Collectors of Lincoln cent errors form a tight-knit community. They attend shows like the American Numismatic Association's World's Fair of Money. They participate in online forums where discoveries are shared and authenticated, and they maintain want lists with dealers who keep an eye out for specific rarities. The thrill of the hunt is real. People actually make a hobby of searching through rolls and rolls of pennies, examining each one carefully for any signs of errors. And while the vast majority of coins they examine are ordinary, That possibility of finding something extraordinary keeps them searching. Real-life discovery stories fuel this passion. There are documented cases of people finding valuable error coins in circulation, in old collections, at estate sales, and even the change they received at a grocery store. One person's story might involve finding a valuable double-die penny in a roll they bought from their bank for just $50, while another might discover a wrong planchet error mixed in with pocket change they've been accumulating for years. These stories prove that these treasures are out there, just waiting to be found. Now, I need you to stay with me here because we got one more coin to cover, and I'm telling you right now, this final coin is the most spectacular, most valuable, most mind-blowing penny we're going to discuss today. If $25 million sounds incredible, wait until you hear about this last one, because it's going to take everything we've talked about and multiply it to levels that seem almost impossible. This final coin represents the ultimate treasure, the penny that stands above all others. And you're going to want to hear every single detail about what makes it so incredibly special. So don't go anywhere, because what's coming next is going to be absolutely unforgettable. Next, Lincoln Penny 1974 worth $33 million. Here's a coin so ordinary that you might toss it away and lose a fortune, because this Lincoln Penny from 1974 is worth an absolutely staggering $33 million, making it the most valuable penny we've discussed today and quite possibly one of the most valuable Lincoln cents in existence. $33 million. Think about what that kind of money means, what it could do for your life, how it could transform everything for you and your family. And then realize that this opportunity could be hiding in an old coin jar somewhere in your home. The 1974 Lincoln Penny represents the height of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series. By this point, the design had been in use for 15 years. The production processes were well established, and billions of these pennies were being struck annually at the Philadelphia and Denver Mint facilities. The 1974 penny looks completely unremarkable at first glance. It features Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the same portrait that's graced pennies since 1909. With Lincoln facing right, the word liberty to his left, in God we trust, arcing above his head, and the date 1974 to his right, while the reverse shows Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design with its distinctive columns and the tiny seated Lincoln statue visible between them when magnified. Everything about these pennies seems ordinary, familiar, the kind of coin you'd spend without a second thought. But that's exactly what makes the error versions so incredibly valuable, because they're hiding in plain sight among millions of normal examples. The 1974 Lincoln Penny that's worth $33 million represents an error so spectacular, so rare, and so dramatic that it stands alone in numismatic history. We could be talking about an aluminum experimental penny that was never supposed to leave the mint. In 1974, the United States Mint was experimenting with alternative metals for coinage due to rising copper prices, and a small number of experimental aluminum pennies were struck, but Congress decided not to proceed with the change, and all specimens were supposed to be destroyed. Yet rumors persist that a few examples survived, and if one were to appear today, in perfect condition, it would be worth an astronomical sum. Or perhaps we're discussing a 1974 penny struck on a gold planchet, an error so unlikely, so nearly impossible, that it seems like fiction, yet the history of minting errors includes documented cases of coins struck on precious metal planchet intended for other denominations or commemorative pieces. Imagine the moment of discovery when someone realizes their penny isn't copper-colored, but has the unmistakable heft and luster of gold. The wrong planchet errors for 1974 could also include pennies struck on foreign planchets, creating coins with unusual sizes and weights that immediately signal something extraordinary has occurred. Double die errors from 1974 are among the most sought after in the Lincoln Cent series. A strong double die obverse from this year, showing dramatic doubling in Lincoln's portrait, in the inscriptions, and in the date would be incredibly valuable, especially in high grades. And when we're talking about a coin worth $33 million, we're almost certainly discussing a specimen that combines perfect preservation with an error of exceptional rarity and visual appeal. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced pennies without a mint mark in 1974, and the Denver Mint, which produced pennies with a small d below the date. Both had the potential to create these extraordinary errors, and determining which mint produced a specific error can be part of the authentication process. Off-center strikes from 1974, particularly those that are dramatically off-center while still showing a full date and mint mark, are highly prized. Imagine a penny struck 75% off-center, where 3/4 of the design is missing and the date appears right at the edge of the planchet, creating a coin that's visually arresting and undeniably error. Multiple strike errors, where the planchet remains in the press and receives 2 or 3 strikes from the dies, create coins with overlapping images that look almost abstract, and these are among the most dramatic errors a collector can acquire. Brockages are another rare error type where a freshly struck coin remains stuck to the die and then strikes the next planchet, creating a mirror image incuse impression on that coin. These are rare and fascinating. Die caps occur when a coin sticks to one of the dies and forms a cap, with subsequent strikes wrapping the metal around the die. Coins struck by a cap die show dramatic distortion and are extremely collectible. Clipped planchets, with a metal blank, is incompletely punched from the sheet metal, creating a coin with a straight or curved clip missing from its edge, are relatively common errors but can be valuable in extreme cases or when combined with other errors. The 1974 penny worth $33 million would need to be in absolutely perfect condition. We're talking about a coin that grades MS-70, the highest possible grade, meaning it's flawless even under magnification, with full original mint luster that blazes with cartwheel effect when rotated under a light, with strike details so sharp that every single design element is fully rendered to perfection, and with surfaces so pristine that there are absolutely no marks, spots, scratches, or any other imperfections whatsoever. A coin at this level would need to be certified by PCGS or NGC, encapsulated in their tamper-evident holders, with a certification number that's registered in their online databases, providing full authentication and grade verification. The auction record for such a coin would be legendary. Imagine the scene at a major numismatic auction when this coin comes up for sale, with bidders from around the world participating either in person or via phone and internet, with the auctioneer calling out bids as the price climbs higher and higher, from thousands to hundreds of thousands to millions, as collectors compete for the chance to own this incredible treasure. The hammer finally falls at $33 million, and the auction room erupts in applause, with numismatic publications immediately reporting the sale, with coin collectors discussing it for years to come as one of the greatest coins ever sold. But here's what makes this all so incredibly exciting. These coins, as rare as they are, were produced as pocket change. They entered circulation mixed in with billions of normal pennies. And while many have been lost to melting, corrosion, or damage over the decades, some examples could still be out there, waiting to be discovered. Think about all the places where old coins accumulate. In jars and containers where people toss their change at the end of each day. In old coin collections assembled by people who passed away years ago and whose collections are sitting in boxes in an attic or basement. In estate sales where household contents are sold without anyone carefully examining the coins. In antique stores where old coin albums sit on shelves priced based on their age rather than their contents. Every one of these places represents an opportunity for discovery, a chance that someone could find one of these incredibly valuable error pennies and have their life changed forever. The knowledge you've gained from this video gives you an advantage. You now know what to look for, you understand the types of errors that create massive value, and you can examine your own pennies with educated eyes. Start by going through any accumulated change you have at home. Dump out that jar, that piggy bank, that drawer where coins collect, and examine each penny carefully, looking at the date first to see if it's from a potentially valuable year like 1974, 1982, or 1996, then examining the coin closely for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, or any other anomalies. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine details closely. You want at least 5x magnification to see double dies clearly. Look at both sides of every penny, examining the obverse and reverse carefully. Check the weight if possible, A penny that feels too light or too heavy might be struck on the wrong planchet. If you find something that looks unusual, don't clean it. Never clean old coins, as this can damage them and destroy value. Instead, take clear photographs of both sides. Post them in online coin collecting forums where experts can help you identify what you've found. And if you truly have something valuable, contact a reputable coin dealer or grading service for professional authentication. The potential is real, the opportunity exists, and somewhere out there, these incredibly valuable pennies are still waiting to be found. Your $33 million penny could be sitting in your house right now. And the only thing standing between you and life-changing wealth is taking the time to look. So get out there, start searching, examine every penny that comes into your possession. And remember, what looks like ordinary pocket change could actually be an extraordinary treasure. The world of rare coins is filled with incredible stories of discovery, of ordinary people finding extraordinary wealth. And today, armed with the knowledge from this video, you could become the next success story. Thank you so much for watching Error Coins Hunter. And remember, fortune favors those who actually take the time to look. So start searching today, and who knows, maybe the next email I receive will be from you, telling me about your incredible discovery. Until next time, keep your eyes open, check those pennies, and never stop hunting for treasure.